Hey, what is up guys? This is Sleet, and in this video I am increasing the heat, attempting a 45 heat run with the Aspect of Hestia. Hestia is one of my favorite weapon aspects because it fits my playstyle so very well. It's ranged and it chunks with this empowered bullet. The build I'm going to be aiming for is a Poseidon build, so I'm going to take Poseidon's keepsake and hope for getting the Poseidon on the attack. And the other thing I'm going to be going for is Athena, particularly for her defensive boons, including her Death Defiance refills. And here in the Pact of Punishment, my goal is to get 45 heat. I've actually been running several different variations just to see what works best. And over the course of my runs, I have concluded that I cannot do EM4 Hades with everything else turned up to max. So I'm keeping extreme measures at level 3 and pretty much maxing everything else. A couple additional things to note here. I'm taking 100% lasting consequences, and the only way really to pull that off, assuming you'll take damage, is to take Stubborn Defiance from the mirror. I'm also putting 0 points into damage control because I want nothing to impede that first empowered bullet from Hestia. I'm also putting only 1 point into approval process because with 2 points, I found the RNG to be too harsh and unreliable. And finally, I'm maxing tight deadline. And as I've said in previous videos, this kind of forces you to perform like a speedrunner and take advantage of every time-saving maneuver as you can. And with that, let's get started on the run and I'll explain more on the way. As you know, sometimes even though you take a god's keepsake, you are given a hammer instead, which is completely great. Here, rocket bomb probably would have been the best, but ricochet fire is also superb for the Aspect of Hestia because those empowered bullets can also ricochet. Given the tight deadline, make sure to use your pause buffer when you're deciding between different chambers and whatnot. Yes, so we luck out here and get the epic version of Tempest Strike. The reason why we want Poseidon on the attack is not only because of its fairly decent damage modifier, which can be enhanced even better with wave pounding. It also knocks foes away, which I found to be extremely helpful, especially with the 40% forced overtime, as well as benefits packages that increases enemies' movement speeds. Normally, I always avoid the money room because I find that I always have enough money to buy stuff in the shop. However, with the max convenience fee and underworld customs from the Pact of Punishment, money is actually a pretty big deal, especially since you have to give up a boon at the end. And if a run does not produce enough boons, then you might have to give up one that you actually want to keep. Hence, I like to keep enough money to buy a boon at the final shop, which is about 270 obol with the enhanced convenience fee. But I end up going with the palm because that first palm for the attack boon gives a substantial increase, and that's going to help me with my run. I really luck out here by naturaling Athena as one of my gods on my bench. Also, I'll say taking out the sneak with the Hestia is really easy compared to other weapons. I could Meg here, but my empowered bullets always land and there's enough damage to take it out pretty quickly. The boons from Athena that I want the most, besides the DD refills, are Divine Dash and Sure Footing. Athena's aid is pretty good too. And I note that Athena does not give her DD refills the first time you encounter her, so you don't need to prep for that. And by prep for that, meaning getting rid of your Stubborn Defiance. Here I encounter a horde of skulls, which can be pretty problematic for Hestia, but thankfully with Ricochet fire and the added attack bonus from Poseidon, they're pretty easy to take out with rapid fire. And if you're playing Hades with a controller, I would recommend that you remap the button for reloading By default, it is actually the R3 button if you're using a PlayStation controller like me, which is a pretty awkward button to press. I like to remap it to L1, which really helps with the reloading cadence. I actually would prefer Floodshot, even the common version, over Hydraulic Might, but they're both sellable boons in my opinion, so I'd rather go with the epic one since it'll net me more money.
Forgive me, Athena. Olympus.
Ares boons are actually pretty good on the Aspect of Hestia, which is the reason why I pick it up here, especially for the Battle Rage boon, but unfortunately that didn't come up. I'll settle for Curse of Vengeance. At least it will be something I can sell for a decent amount of change later. As you can see here, Hestia makes pretty quick work of bosses. They chunk them down pretty quickly. When Tisiphone does her spinning bullet hell move, it's actually best to just sit tight and rapid fire into her, since your bullets will destroy her projectiles.
Nice chatting. Okay.
Normally here I would equip Athena's keepsake, but since I naturaled her in Tartarus, I'm just looking for another god for their boons. I end up going with Artemis for crit, but Zeus was also a contender, especially if I can get the Sea Storm duo boon.
Made it to Asphodel.
Attack damage and health are the two biggest things I want from Chaos, and since I got here plus 56 health, which is incredible, I'm definitely going with that.
Almost. All clear.
The lava in Asphodel is pretty great if you just need to top off your health by losing a Stubborn Defiance, as you see here.
Artemis.
Although I prefer Athena's Divine Dash for the deflect and defensive benefits, Hunter's Dash is actually really good on the Aspect of Hestia since it does empower your empowered bullet. So I'll go with Hunter Dash for now, and if I pick up Athena's Dash later, then maybe we'll switch later. The Barge of Death can actually be the longest mini-boss room, which could be problematic with your tight deadline. So you want to make quick work of it by using Meg, and the empowered bullets, you got to really focus on that crystal enemy before you can attack the other guys. Boiling Point isn't such a bad boon, but what I really want right now is the Razor Shoals boon or Wave Pounding, so it's worth a reroll here. Unfortunately, I don't get those. As between the Special and Typhoon's Fury, I actually end up going with Typhoon's Fury because I think I would get more out of it. I don't plan on using my Special all too often. And because my Empowered Bullet knocks back enemies quite a distance, there's a good chance it'll knock them into walls and do that additional damage. See, what did I tell you? Typhoon's Fury, not the worst thing. I do have enough money to buy a boon from the shop, but why not just go for the free Hermes boon, right?
Lenny, if you'd like for me to kill you, hiss.
You may have already figured this out, but Lerny comes in different colors, and different colors have different attack patterns. The blue ones I hate the most because they're the ones that will come down and do the ground pound when you're least suspecting it, and with 40% overtime, they're really hard to dodge. So, screw Lerny.
Down.
Remember that darkness also increases your max HP, so it's a good idea to top off your health by losing your Stubborn Defiance before you take up that darkness. Here in this pool of purging, I have either Greatest Reflex or Typhoon's Fury really that I'm debating whether to sell. Greatest Reflex will actually help me a lot more in the final boss, so I'm going to keep that and just give up the bonus damage that I get with Typhoon's Fury. Plus I get more money.
Could use the extra coin.
I will almost always choose the heart over any palms or coins at this level of play. I really hate flame wheels, and this is why I wish I had Razor Shoals, because applying the debuff will make them die as they try to chase me down.
Keep them coming.
Note that here in Elysium, you can use these egg bombs to kill yourself and reset your Stubborn Defiance. I'm doing that here to maximize the amount of health that I get by grabbing that heart. So this is kind of a difficult three-way decision. The damage bonus from the hammer would be great, plus I think I have enough time on my tight deadline, but I end up going with the Chaos Gate anyway, since it's early enough in the level and the possibility of getting a big damage buff or health bonus is worthwhile. But it turns out it wasn't worthwhile. Blah. So the butterfly mini-boss has a huge chunk of armor, so this is a great time to mega as well. Take it down pretty quickly, and you may not even have to deal with any of the other little minions.
Won't catch this soul, thanks. My senses are shopping. Hi there.
Death approaches. You've come this far, now let's make sure.
PSA, don't sleep on your call. I think I only figured out I had Athena's aid in the middle of this fight, which came quite in handy, especially with all those inferno bombs being thrown at me.
Got to hold on.
Oh man, both cluster bomb and rocket bomb. If I got those two hammers, this would have been a crazy good run. But rocket bomb on its own is still very, very good, so I'm gonna pick that up.
He's trying to respawn. He's fully recovered.
So since I'm going to be getting an Athena boon here, I definitely want to prep for it. I'm going to want to lose my Stubborn Defiance before I pick up the boon. And I always have to keep reminding myself during the room, because probably more than 50% of the time I actually forget, and I regret it so much, especially if that DD refill comes up. Thankfully here I have these egg bombs that I can get rid of my Stubborn Defiance after the fact, but if they don't have that, you definitely want to make sure you lose it during battle. And oh look, there it is. Oh, and it's crossed out. Damn it, I hate this game.
Hey, got anything else?
I guess I'll settle for unshakable metal. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see Patroclus. I really wanted to get his Touch of Dark buff, which is incredibly potent for Stubborn Defiance and runs like this. But I guess we'll have to make do. Not bad. That was actually a pretty good fight. Only got scratched minorly. Almost flawless.
That'll do. Purge boons for coin. My keepsakes. Sold.
So normally I always recommend taking one of the mini boss rooms first, since those are much more quickly disposed of. But in this case, I definitely want to go with the Athena room because first of all, it's guaranteed that it's going to be a regular enemy room. And because of that, I can use it for my purpose, which is to hopefully get a Death Defiance refill alongside my Stubborn Defiance. So that's why I'm going to take the Athena room first.
It's no use. No way. Okay. Hear me on my authority.
Oh man, I didn't get it. Holy Shield isn't a bad choice, but I really want that DD refill, so I'm gonna reroll for it. And boom, I got both. That is awesome. And for me, I prefer Last Stand, which replenishes more health after a DD than the other one, so I'm gonna go with that. And unfortunately did not get the 2 sack. This is troublesome. Oh well.
In the name of Hades.
And I didn't get a 3 sack either, and on top of that I got freaking Little Vermin. Ugh, this run is cutting it massively close. If I lose this run because of tight deadline, I'm gonna be so upset. But you know what, as you can see, the Poseidon on the attack really works really well on the Little Vermin here, since it just sends it away. You can always keep a safe distance.
We're not finished. Should check this way.
Just in case the next room is the fountain room, it's always a good idea to lose your Stubborn Defiance right here in the 4th room of the tunnel. so that you'll end up with max health, because that fountain's not going to get you anything. I didn't do it because I already had fairly high health.
Oh, what is this? I can't. Maybe I should check the other passageways before I leave. I'll make every strike count. Fishing point there. Vigilant. Thank you, boy. Got here as quickly as I could.
You think the
Hey, Meg.
I'm here.
Don't bother to assist you.
See you at home?
Darkness. Darkness. Heed me, wretches, on my authority. Darkness. You can't kill me.
Let's hurry it up.
Blasted little.
Behold our power.
Try all you like.
Enough time.
You
And whew, that tight deadline, right?
were it not for all
Well,
my
there you have
riches
it.
and
Hope you guys
apologies.
enjoyed that 45 heat run. That is my top so far. Next level is 50 heat. If you have any questions or any additional tips, please leave those in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.